99.3 Nigeria Info. This is Hard Facts, and I did tell you that we were going to be talking about judicial reforms today. And yes, my guests are Barrister Sunday Ubani, in fact, Dr. Monday Ubani, I beg your pardon, Senior Advocate of Nigeria. Also will be joining me from Port Harcourt, River State, Barrister Haya King. They both will be joining me via Zoom. I'm still waiting for them to join us. The moment they do, we'll get into the conversation proper. But of course, for those who have been following, the NJC has been doing some soul searching and trying their best to cause some sort of reforms to happen from the inside and out. Of course, they're also they posted 32 names, published 32 names, and are asking us Nigerians, obviously, to appraise these people, to see if these people are fit for office. And they have also outlined the rules and regulations and the modus operandi in handling this. And these are some of the issues that we are going to be discussing with my guests as soon as they join us via Zoom. I'm just still waiting for them to join us. The moment they do, we will get into the conversation proper. It's still Hard Facts, 99.3 Nigeria Info. We'll go for a quick break. When we come back, we're talking judicial reform. Stay with us. We'll be back after the break.
Let's take you on a journey up the stairs, the corporate ladder of success.
So apprenticeship system continue to create every 7 years champion.
What's your vision for your company? What's your vision for your product? When you hire people, don't tell them the strategy, tell them the vision.
Whether you're in tech, finance, healthcare, or any industry, the rules of climbing the ladder has changed. What does it take to reach new heights in your career today? Let's explore the cutting-edge skills and mindsets required for success in this rapidly evolving landscape. We'll hear from industry leaders and futurists who are redefining what it means to ascend the corporate ladder.
You must get to a place of self-actualization and self-understanding that allows you to then define what is important to you.
They'll share their insights on essential skills like adaptability, emotional intelligence, and digital literacy. Plus, we'll uncover the importance of networking in an age where connections are just a click away. That's right, it's not just about the title or the corner office anymore. It's about being agile and forward-thinking. We'll also dive into the power of mentorship and how leveraging on your network can help you navigate the complexity of your career path. So, whether you're just starting out or looking to pivot into a new role, get ready to take notes. Join us as we explore the strategies that will help you climb the stairs to success. Don't miss out on this essential discussion on Hard Facts every last Wednesday, 4 to 5 p.m. Let's elevate your career together.
.3 Nigeria Info. Let's talk judicial reforms. I did tell you, Dr. Monday Ubani, Senior Advocate of Nigeria, and of course, OC Haya King joining us via Zoom. But let me just give you some background before we go into the conversation proper as I introduce my guest. Let me give you some background, Lagos. We're live, facebook.com/Nigeria Info FM. We're also live on YouTube, Nigeria Info FM. Join the conversation. We would love to hear from you. Now, we're diving into an issue that strikes at the very heart of Nigeria's democracy. Right after the 2023 general elections, Nigerians displayed their displeasure against the judicial system and queried the credibility of our judiciary. Now, in the aftermath of the elections of 2023, public confidence in the judiciary hit a historic low. Many Nigerians believe that justice is no longer blind, and that the courts are no longer a refuge for the oppressed, but a tool for the powerful. Recently, the National Judicial Council, the NJC, has been making moves, investigating judges, issuing disciplinary actions, and even inviting the public to appraise the performance of 32 judicial officers. This, one would ask, could it be genuine, a step towards reform, or just a PR strategy to regain their lost legitimacy? Well, with the 2027 elections on the horizon, the stakes could not be higher. Will the judiciary rise to meet, the moment, or will it fall under the distrust and disrepute that it already finds itself. Joining me to discuss this are two legal heavyweights, Dr. Monday Ubani, Senior Advocate of Nigeria, and Justice Barrister Okon, a respected legal practitioner and human rights advocate. And we'll be asking all the tough questions and demanding straight answers. Thank you, Mr. Okon, for joining us. It's so good to have you join us. Welcome to Hard Facts.
It's a pleasure being here once more. Thank you so much for having
me. Thank you for joining on the show. Let me go straight to the point on this, because like I started, a lot of things have happened and Nigerians have outrightly lost hope in the judiciary. When I was younger, the judiciary was said to be the hope of the common person. But right now, I don't know if that is the case. In the light of the NJC's recent disciplinary action that we've seen happen, including the compulsory retirement of 2 heads of court for age falsification and suspension of other judges for misconduct, do you really believe that these measures are sufficient to restore public confidence in the judiciary?
Well, I think it's still a work in progress. If not just mere words, but if it's being taken to the next level and implemented and enforced, it will actually restore the hope of the common man, like the popular parlance that the judiciary is the hope of the common man. Yes, definitely it will, if it is carried on and completed, not just to start something and stop halfway. In Nigeria, we have this habit of starting something and we don't complete it. That's actually the problem we have. It's not because we don't have ideas. It's not because we don't start something good. It's not because we don't know what to do that is good. Most of the time when we implement them, when we conceive them, we put them on paper, we try to implement them, it becomes a problem. The next thing we hear is that powerful forces are fighting against it, or you hear that politicians are fighting against it. That's why it's not working. I think, but again, if yes, the answer is yes. If implemented and carried through, it will restore the hope of the common man, the average person in Nigeria. Because I can tell you, the judiciary has really declined. The hope that it has really gone down. But let me say this actually. It is when it involves political matters that you see that people have really lost hope. But if you go through, I'm a lawyer, I've been practicing, I'm in the chambers, I'm preparing for court tomorrow. Every day, in a week, 3-4 times I'm in court. I can tell you that the problem we have is the political matters, because the politicians are the ones controlling these matters, not ordinary matters. If you go to ordinary matters, the judiciary is still very strong. The judiciary, I can tell you, it has maybe land matter, it has criminal matter that does not involve political influence. The judiciary is still upright. We are still the best in the world when you come to that. We come to that aspect of it, individual, criminal matters, or any other matter that does not involve politicians. That is to say, the matter, it does not involve politicians. I can tell you that the Nigerian judiciary is still very, 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 very strong. They will give you justice. The problem is political matters. That is actually the truth about it. Just political matters, that is actually where we have problems. Why? Because the politicians control these matters. They make calls, they appoint these judges. We are coming to the recent innovation that is being brought by the Chief Justice of Nigeria on the appointment of judges. So we will discuss that. But before that time, politicians can pick their wives, their sisters, their brothers, their daughters, their sons, and put them there. And I'm not saying they are not qualified. But I'm saying that process is wrong. If a judge son, or a CJ son, or former Supreme Court daughter or son is qualified, let him be appointed. For a situation where they are the only ones that are qualified, that's my process.
So you're saying, Barrister Okon, that the judiciary has only been tainted when it comes to political matters. Is that the case that you're making?
Yeah, yes, exactly. That's what I'm saying. When you go to other matters, the judiciary is still very strong. Nigerian judiciary is still very, very strong. It's only political matters, and because these political matters are advertised, these political matters are in the public domain. So everybody now sees judiciary as very corrupt, very bad. Who corrupts them? The politicians. If you don't come and give me money, will I take it? If I ask for money, you refuse to give me as a judge, how will I be corrupt? It's impossible. I ask from the first person, they refuse. I ask the second person, they refuse. So no way. Now, but again, as a judge, they bring the money, you refuse. They bring the money, you refuse. They frame you up, remove you from the bench, disgrace you. Is that what you want your brother? Is that what you want your uncle? Is that what you want your wife, your husband to go through? So most of them, like I said, political matters, they don't even get corrupt because of money. Not just money. Not money. Influence. It's the person that appointed them, the governor, the president, a minister. It's not just money. Who I know. That's actually what but they are all corruption, like I said. Political matters are the matters where you find the judiciary being corrupt. Other matters, they are not.
So given the perception, and I'm trying to get Dr. Ubani to join us via telephone. Unfortunately, he can't join us via Zoom. Given the perception that the judiciary, is susceptible to influence, like you have said, by the ruling party, whether it be the PDP or the APC that's in power, there seems to be that susceptibility. What structural reforms, I mean, apart from what we're hearing that, is about to happen or is beginning to happen, what kind of structural reforms would you recommend to ensure that there is some sort of judiciary independence and impartiality, because now everyone's screaming blue murder?
Constitutional amendment. Constitutional amendment. Constitutional amendment. Constitutional amendment. Constitutional amendment. Constitutional amendment to remove the judiciary under the clutches of the executive. To remove the judiciary under the control of the executive. That is the starting point. Where as a judge, or I am going to be appointed as a judge, I go there on merit. There is no political influence. I will go there. If I want, I will now go through the process, and I don't have to have any godfather. I don't have to have any godmother. I don't have to have any political affiliation. I will get the job. That is the first step. Where a judicial officer, a serving judge, will know that whatever case that comes before him or her, whatever case that comes before him or her, he will be able to take a decision based on law and fact. Mm-hmm. Not a situation where they will put a call across to him and say, my Lord, do this. My Lord, don't do this. I have judges. One of my friends told me, said at a point he was having one political matter. I was confused. Mm-hmm. So he switched off his phone. Yes. Because we are still coming through other court offices. He lied down nowhere. He got up nowhere. He was under pressure. So people say, don't grant him bail. People say, grant him bail. You can go make sure he doesn't sleep there. You can say, make sure he doesn't sleep there. Problem. So if there is a constitutional amendment, a judge knows that nobody can remove him, nobody can victimize him, nobody can torture him, nobody can do anything to him if he does the right thing. I can tell you, we still have judicial officers that will do the right thing, judges that will do the right thing.
Okay. I have Dr. Ubani joining us via telephone. Unfortunately, he couldn't join us via Zoom, so we're going to have to do it via telephone. Dr. Ubani, thank you so much for joining us. And I know that because of our small hiccup, we've taken out too much of the time that we would have used to ask you questions, but better late than never. I was asking Mr. Hayaking here about, the recent disciplinary actions that the NJC is taking, including, some of the compulsory retirement of heads of courts for issues of, age falsification, etc., etc. Do you think that this step that the judiciary is taking can in any way restore public confidence in the judiciary, or do they have to try harder?
Well, let me say that, look, it's better late than never. The most important thing is when an institution becomes very sensitive to reactions of the members of the public, very critical. Now, the feedback mechanism help any organization in order to fare better. Nigerians have been complaining about the problem with our judicial system, the loss of confidence, and people do not have any confidence at all with our judiciary. And then with that, the leadership, the judiciary, say, look, do we allow this to continue? What steps are we supposed to take? Of course, people come up with suggestions. Why don't you implement some of your disciplinary measures in order to make some of the judges to fall in line? Why don't you do issue of recruitment process to be a bit more transparent? Why don't you get the best into the system? Why must you be relying on recommendations from judges, sons and daughters, or politicians, uncle, relations, into the judiciary?
Mm-hmm.
So these things have been getting to the ears of those who run the affairs of the judiciary, and you see some of those measures they are taking, all as a result of response, to some of these criticisms, and they are better. We are better off, having these things being implemented, even though it may not be 100% full implementation. But the point is that a journey of 1,000 miles, start with a step. We're taking a step to now begin to be very sensitive to some of the reactions of members of the public towards the judicial sector, and some of the things we are seeing now happening is a result of implementation of those measures to sanitize our judicial system.
There are those who have said that, look, how can the chief judge try to sanitize the system if she herself is a product of what people would call biased political appointments? Is there ever going to be that sanitization without the hand of Esau in it?
I don't understand that allegation, because the woman that is now occupying the position of the Chief Justice of Nigeria deserves to be there. She passed through the entire system and qualified by all standards to be the CJN of the Federation. She's erudite, full of wisdom, learned, one of the best in the country. I'm just telling you. After the other woman, Aloma, became the CJN as a woman, this is the second woman occupying the position of CJN in the country, Chief Justice of Nigeria. And the woman, by all standards, as I said earlier, was qualified to be there. It wasn't a pushover. She wasn't a quota CJN. No, she merited it. I'm sure. Go and read some of her erudite judgments she has delivered over the time, both from the High Court to Court of Appeal to Supreme Court level. The person that is occupying the position today as Chief Justice of Nigeria is by all standards qualified to be there. So if any person is making an allegation that is a product of any system that is skewed, that doesn't proper and all that, I don't accede to that information. There is no truth in it. As I said earlier, go and look at the ruling, the judgment this woman had delivered over time, the position she has held and all that. She was second in command when
99.3 Nigeria
sorry, we have to go on a quick break, Barrister Ubani. We'll be right back.
No be party jollof this thing.
I beg, make nothing hungry you again today.
I'm pregnant where every day follow talk so.
Neighbor, I beg,
neighbor, just one spoon.
No wahala.
Chef, what be your secret?
Now, Mr. Chef Seasoning Powder. Mr. Chef Seasoning Powder. Get spicy stew, goat meat, fried rice, and roasted beef from great aroma to great taste.
Elevate every meal with Mr. Chef Seasoning Powder. Chef.
Hey ladies, do you know Nigerian women are celebrated for their radiant glowing skin? That's right. But with a hot sun, protecting our skin can be a challenge. Good news! Perfectio by Vitabiotics UK gives you targeted support for great-looking skin, hair, and nails. Packed with biomarine collagen, botanical extracts, and other micronutrients which contribute to skin hydration and radiance while reducing other skin imperfections. Available in pharmacies near you. Perfectil, beauty from within.
Are you ready to unlock your full potential? Join us as we celebrate 10 years of empowering futures. Whether you're a budding entrepreneur or a hardworking professional, we are here to support you every step of the way with our expert guidance and tailored financial solutions. The horizon is yours to explore. Join us today and start your journey to a brighter future. For more information, you can visit us at any of our branches close to you. DDMFB, empowering futures.
Meals have a way of taking us on a journey. And when you add plenty of vegetables like efo, ugu, and season with the rich taste of North seasoning cubes, Even better.
So, go ahead and elevate your meals with more vegetables and the rich taste of Knorr cubes. Today, eat for good.
Bro, how I could take level up now? Now your hand day. How I could take enjoy VVIP treatment? Now your hand day. To win big call. Now your hand day. With BetKing Virtuals, every game fit make you hit jackpot. You go chop life tire. The power to win bigger than your hands. Download the BetKing app and register today using the promo code FreeBets to enjoy 100 Naira instant bonus and other exciting offers. Terms and conditions apply. Not for persons under 18 years. Play responsibly.
My ions, please, can't get enough. My ions, please, give it to me now, now. It go rehydrate you, yeah. Replenish your ions with Pocari Sweat. Rehydrate you faster, easy we observe. Pocari Sweat, give me some more. Pocari Sweat.
Exciting games, music, dance, and fun for every family.
Join us for the second edition of the Kids FM Festival, happening June 1st, 2025 at Balmoral Convention Center, Lagos, 12 p.m. sharp.
Don't miss the fun. Don't miss the fun. Bring your brothers and sisters, your daddy and mommy, even your uncles and aunties to join this exciting moment. Even your friends aren't left out. It's the Kids FM Festival. Let's make memories that sparkle!
Register now at www.kidsfm.ng. Let the countdown begin. Proudly brought to you by Kids FM, where every kid's a star.
Na so I did on my own. Na a message enter my phone. Fiam. I can't click am. Fiam. Na so my money for account go. Fiam. Hey. If to say na Airtel you dey use, them for first alert you before you click am. Airtel they identify spammers, then alert them customers with AI powered service to make sure say you no fall mugu for wuruwuru scam messages. No charges, no subscription needed. Me self they go join Airtel. Fiam.
Airtel, a reason to imagine.
Topisto tomato mix don't show. Topisto tomato mix na tomato mix where Mohan Agro Foods they produce. Them they produce am for Calabar for Cross River State. It dey inside a very beautiful 70-gram sachet and na 50 sachet it dey inside 1 carton. It dey thick and tasty, and if you choose and take cook stew, jollof rice, sauce, egusi, spaghetti, eforiro, and water better correct wakis them. Wetin make Topisto tomato mix different na the taste, and you fit find am for all leading supermarket and for any market where they near you. If you want make them supply you or you want be distributor,
make you call 0704-800-0558 or 0803-570-0177.
Topisto tomato mix. The difference, not the taste.
Hello, Mrs. Martins.
Yes. Oh, Mrs. Johnson, how may I help you?
Junior's body temperature is high and he's complaining about headaches and body aches.
Not to worry. Get Bruston and suspension.
Okay, ma. I'll call you back.
Bruston and Suspension for Children is a sweet-tasting brand of ibuprofen which provides relief against toothache, pains, and fever in children after 30 minutes.
Hello, ma. Oh, Junior, stop that.
Is everything okay, Mrs. Johnson?
Yes, ma. Junior is fine now. In fact, Junior, sorry, ma. I'll call you back.
Brustin and Suspension for Children. Always take the product after meal. If symptoms persist after 2 days, consult your doctor. A quality product from Rambaxay.
For 3 great seasons, the fans have fought with passion and fire. Their best they brought. The banter was bold, the debates were tight. Each word a weapon, each match a fight. But now it's bigger, the stakes much higher. The battle returns and it's full of fire. Grand Battle 4 with Femi and the gang on 99.3 Nigeria Info. The stage is bang. In partnership with Sports Salon, we raise the game with Gloriana and a shot at fame. Think you've got what it takes to score? Then step right up. It's Time for more.
Fan Battle 4 starts Tuesday, June 3rd through July from 7 p.m. weekdays on Nigeria Info.
Fan Battle 4. Let the battle begin.
They say truth sets you free. But in a world where news spreads fast and popular narratives shape opinions, how do you separate truth from deception? Introducing Facts or Propaganda, the show that puts the biggest social, political, and media narratives under the microscope.
More than 60% of the population is below the age of 30. A lot of them hadn't been to school.
A lot of these young people are not employable.
Every week, we critically analyze narratives shaping our country, separating facts from clever manipulation. Who benefits from these narratives? What's real and what's just propaganda?
Unfortunately, paternity fraud is not a crime in Nigeria. Our laws are silent on this issue.
Join the conversation. Be part of the investigation. Tune in. Join Babatunde Abdusalam every Monday, 10 p.m. to 12 midnight on 99.3 Nigeria Info. And let's uncover the truth together. Fact or propaganda. Only on 99.3 Nigeria Info. Don't just believe. Investigate.
99.3 Nigeria Info.
Your number one station for talk. Let's talk.
Millions of listeners trust us on Hard Fact. Whether it's politics, social issues, controversies, and trending stories, you know we're credible and objective.
It's Hard Facts with Maryann Okon on 99.3 Nigeria Info.
Yes, it's still the big hard facts. 99.3 Nigeria Info. I am Maryann Okon. I still have with us Barrister O.C. Haya King. We still have Dr. Monday Ubani, Senior Advocate of Nigeria. We're looking at the ongoing judicial reforms and, of course, picking the brains of these legal luminaries as to, where this is going and will it be in the benefits, to the benefit of the average Nigerian. Well, Dr. Ubani has said that this has to obviously, one way or the other, help us see that the judiciary is changing. Yeah, even though everything will not change at once, but it is a start. And so this is what Barrister Haya King also said, that it's best to be seen doing the right thing as opposed to us just continuously questioning what's happening in the judiciary. While I try to get Dr. Ubani back, because I was asking a question where many Nigerians were saying, oh, because this lady is being appointed by the Tinubu administration, no good can come out of her. But then, Dr. Ubani, I also wanted to follow up that question by saying, can the same be said? Now, you have obviously spoken up for the judge, but can the same be said for judges who are appointed by state governors? Because we've seen it in several states where some of these judges, they pass over other people who are more experienced, more qualified, and then they appoint the ones who they think that they can actually use to further their agenda. Dr. Bani.
Are you hearing me now?
Yes, I said that.
Maryann?
Yes. I was saying that. Can the same be said? Now, you've sang the praises of the chief judge.
Yeah.
Can the same
who are appointed by the governors?
By governors, yes. There are many who have said yes. There are many who have queried some of those judges that they've passed over people who are more qualified to give these opportunities to their friends or people who would further their own agenda.
Yeah, we're saying the same thing now. That's why the process now is changing, because people have criticized the recruitment process before. Now, that look, there is no transparency in the system. There is no input of the members of the public, because you are aware of the recent guideline that was issued by NJC. NJC now says any judge we are bringing into the system, we throw them open to members' input, members of the public. We have to write, if you know about their character, you know about their wisdom, you know about the antecedent, you have a right, provided you are not lying, because you are going to send that information on verified affidavit. And return that you have lied on that oath, of course, you go in for perjury. So the point is that the system now is becoming more democratic and becoming more inclusive and then a bit more transparent. But hitherto, before now, people were appointing their relations, and those who are not even willing are not even cut out to be a judge. And that has actually affected the quality of the output, in our judiciary. So the new system now of taking into account all those criticisms and then making effort to improve in terms of transparency, in terms of members of the public having an input into the person that is going to be appointed as a judge, is part of the process that we now bring in the best, into the system. It may not be one. It may not be one of. It may be just a gradual process. But the point that we have started, and by the time we now perfect the system, we will begin to have those set of men and women, just like the Oputas of the world, the Kayode Shaws of the world, the best we used to have in the Supreme Court, the best we used to have in the High Court and Court of Appeal. Recruitment process has been the problem. We got it wrong with the recruitment process that was actually skilled, that was emphasizing this over meritocracy, mediocrity over meritocracy. So maybe now it's been emphasized in the system, and I believe that over time we'll now begin to have the best of hands that will run our judiciary. That's what I think and I hope for. Yeah.
Let me go to Barrister Hayaking and then I'll come back to you. Mr. Hayaking, the NJC, obviously, like we have been discussing, has set up these panels to investigate petitions of 8 judges for alleged misconduct. Now, the question is, how effective is the current NJC structure in itself to regulate this, thing that they're pushing out? And what improvements do you suggest? Because just like many people query the legislature, that the legislature cannot be investigating itself, being that people don't think that they're qualified to, sit over their own matters. So in the case of the NJC, do you think that it is able to self-regulate itself with these reforms?
I have, like I have always said, I completely agree with the senior advocate when he said that the process, this present process, will yield results. And you made mention of one particular thing that struck me, that some of them does not even want to become judges. They just tell them to become judges. That takes us back to the larger society, because there is no job. There is actually no job in Nigeria. So the father calls her or calls him, come on, go and be a judge. He say, no, Daddy, I don't want to be a judge. He say, do you know how much judges earn? Come on, go and be a judge. That person will not perform well. The same thing you find in the military, the same thing you find in the Navy, in the police. I've met policemen that said, look, I don't want to be a policeman, but there was no job. I had to go and join. Then coming to your question, whether the present crop of the judiciary will be able to regulate themselves, I somehow agree with the learned senior advocate when he was eulogizing the present Chief Justice of Nigeria. And I would think and agree that the present Chief Judge or the present people, I know about 2 that is in the Supreme Court. He was not appointed a judge. He was a magistrate. From magistrate to a judge and to Court of Appeal and to Supreme Court. He was not under this, he was not made a judge under this military. He was not under this military, under the civilian, he was made a judge. He was made a judge under the military. And I can tell you that all those crop of fine judges, the Oputa, the Shaw, the Caribbean wives, the Toby, all of them are all going away. They are retiring. They came from the military, and they were better because if you remember, it was under the military. Even while under the military, the judges were still giving judgment against the military, and the military never touched them. It was only this civilian that judges started being investigated, touched. We have begun to hear, oh, that judge is corrupt. He gave him money. They went to judges' house at night, blew it up, and found some money and all that. It never happened under the military. The military respected the judiciary. They kept that line, that demarcation, that water and oil inside the same cup, but never mixed up. Water and oil inside the same cup, but never mixed up. The judiciary kept it. The judiciary was either the water or the oil in the same cup, but they never mixed up. But today, the politicians have mixed up the water and the oil and turned it to soup, either to soup or a wedu soup or okra and the kong and all that. They mix them up, unlike the military. The military stayed as oil, while these other people stayed as. They never mixed up. Now, whether they will be able to regulate themselves, I still know that a few of them, coming from that military background, they are still there. So it is still possible. But like I said, we need a constitutional reform where the judges will not be appointed. You made mention of the judges that are appointed by governor. The governor, the judiciary should not have a hand. Why should the governor have a hand in the appointment of a judge or a CJ of a state or chief justice of Nigeria? If you ask me, because if the judges does not have a hand in the appointment, the only thing that the judges do is to swear them in. The judges only swear them in on the day of swearing in. The judges come, or a judge of the High Court of the state or chief judge of the state, chief judge of the state will swear them in. The chief justice of Nigeria will swear the president in. So why would the president control them? It's wrong. That is what we are saying. They are equal. The judiciary, the executive, and the legislature. The same thing applies to the legislature.
Okay.
Stories where governors seize the allocation of legislature is not healthy. It's not good for democracy.
All right. Interesting.
To see allocation or monies meant for the judiciary. Some of them have even gone to the extent of when they take judiciary money, they will now go ahead and build quotas for them and say they are building things for judiciary. No executive will use his own money and build things for judiciary. It is judiciary money that they stole, that they took and appropriated. They now bring out some and now say they are building quotas, they are building courts, they are building this for the judiciary. They shouldn't be building for judiciary. If the judiciary allocation is channeled straight to them.
All right. Because of time, Barrister King, because I have one more question for you and the SAN.
Will not give to that of the state. So the governor should not touch it. Let me see that governor that will not come and say he's a Father Christmas. He wants to use his own money.
Okay. Let me come back to Dr. Ubani, and then both of you would answer this question in 30 seconds each. Dr. Mr. Hayaking, I beg your pardon. Let me just ask this question quickly. Dr. Ubani, Dr. Babatunde Ajibade, who is a senior advocate of Nigeria, just like yourself, has called for a complete overhaul of the NJC, suggesting increased representation for civil society. Do you support his view, and how might it be impacting to the judicial accountability process that is ongoing?
Yeah, when we have input, in terms of members of the public, the civil society, being part of the entire process of NJC, I think we will have more independence, and then I also think that their work output, will be more in tandem with global best practices. What we have presently is that almost every member of the NJC is being nominated by the CJN himself or herself. Whereby the CJN almost constitute 90% of those who come into the membership of the NJC. So the issue of having a larger input of members outside the CJN, getting members of the civil society and all the stakeholders as NJC, it will really create a situation where we'll begin to adhere to global best practices in getting our judiciary very functional and disciplined. The disciplinary measures, must be very firm. But I love what they're doing presently, suspending and then retiring those who are not fit to be members of the bench, fine. But we need more independent-minded persons, just like I have it in a company that are PLC, public limited liability. But by the time you are constituting the board, there has to be a complex of the members are usually very, 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 very complex. You must look at the issue of what the career, your profession. You must look at the issue of age. You must look at the issue of sex. You must also look at even geographical spread and all that. In constituting board membership of PLC, I think also in NJC, we must begin to take into account other variables, that must be members who are not lawyers and judges to come into the entire system to really create a balance and begin to now make sure that anything that has to do with judiciary, we must do it with every high level of commitment to get a system that is working. If we get it right with our judiciary, every other thing in Nigeria will fall in line. People will not go wake up and go and take over somebody's land. knowing that if he does that, the judiciary will come in order to take away that land from him, that he has obtained wrongly. So a very strong, independent judiciary is very, very important for the functionality of a state. The state that is working must, if you look at that state, go and look at their judiciary. America is working today is that if any president think that he's so big and too powerful and want to do anything, the judiciary will just, shut the person down. So who are you? You can't come here and do things that are unconstitutional. You don't. You can't go outside the provisions of the law. You can't act outside the law. If you act outside the law, they will be able to shut you down and say, no, you can't do that. So judiciary is very important. Getting it right, with all the fundamentals, including getting the membership of the NJC right, is part of the reforms that we're all clamoring for. And that means a constitutional amendment, as our learned seeker suggested. We need to reform the constitution to ensure that the membership of the NJC is done in such a way that it becomes a bit more inclusive and then a bit more spread, not necessarily being done by one person. That is what I think. And then to answer about the governors, it's a process to appoint a judge. It's a process. There's a nomination by a body, an executive body. Then you now nominate to this governor who now recommend. They recommend. Then when they recommend to the governor will send the nomination to the House. If it's a state judge, State House of Assembly, or if it is at the federal level to the National Assembly, to the Senate for scrutiny, for looking at that person whether he's qualified and all that. So it's three arms of government that are actually involved in the appointment of a judge. So it's not something that the governor just recommends, but I know that he also influences it from the issue of nominate recommendation. If a governor wants this, he can ask this institution that nominate, the state judiciary council and all that. Say bring this person and all that. So they will now recommend to the governor, who now take it to the State House of Assembly for approval. And of course, that the governors control almost everything. They control the State House of Assembly. They control the executive arms and all that.
Well, it seems like it might be a long road ahead for us. I've been talking with Barrister King and, of course, Dr. Monday Ubani. We want to open up the phone lines so that you could join the conversation. Let's take calls. Let's take comments because we have very limited time. 6 minutes on the clock. If you have questions for my guest, please feel free. 30 seconds. I'm going to give everybody 30 seconds. So make up your mind what you want to ask. Go straight to the point so that our guest can hear you and answer your questions properly. 0201 277 0993 0201 465 7190. Please go straight to the point. 30 seconds. Hello. Welcome to Hard Facts.
Yeah, Jonathan is my name.
Go ahead.
Maryann, the constitutional reform is needed. But I want to ask the both of them, practically, how will this happen? Because we have been hearing it for a very long time. How will it happen? It needs to happen. I need to give you practical steps how it's going to happen. Enjoy your day.
Thank you, Jonathan, for calling. I don't know who wants to go first, but let me take another quick one so you guys can just take turns to answer because we have very little time. Hello.
Yeah, good evening, Maryann.
Yes, good evening. Go straight to the point. 30 seconds.
Yeah, what role does the body of benchers play in all of this? And again, the former head of the Nigerian judges, Kayode Ariwola, he seems to be the chairman of the body of it, but I think he's too old for that role. Does it mean we can't have somebody between 40 and 60, at the end of our year as the chairman of a body of benchers? Thank you.
All right. I see Barrister King shaking his head. Barrister King, do you want to take that question? And then Dr. Bani will take the first question.
It's not possible. There is what we call seniority, and we believe that with seniority you have more experience. Usually that position is being headed by a retired judge of the Supreme Court, if I'm not mistaken. It must not be a former CJN. You cannot bring somebody that is not a judge or a high court judge or a court of appeal judge to head that place, because that place comprises of Supreme Court justices and retired ones as well. So I don't think we cannot do that. It's not constitutional. It's a constitutional position. It's only people like that. If you say Ariwola is old, there are other retired chief justice of the Supreme Court that can be in that place. Or there are also I think there were one other Chief Justice of Nigeria that retired. So speaking, get 40 years. That's why I was laughing. You cannot be there at 40. Okay. 40 means either you are a court of appeal or you are a high court judge. And you cannot be heading your seniors at heading Supreme Court justices. Yeah. No, it's not done. It's a controller position.
All right. Dr. Ubani, the first question, I'm throwing it to you. The question is, how will it happen, the reform? Because, the
reform is on almost every time there is a election, and then the National Assembly is constituted. There is always a constitutional reform. If you remember Amendment 1, Amendment 2, and all that, we are going through the process of amending the Constitution presently. That's constitutional reform. When we're talking about constitutional reform, just to amend the Constitution, that's what it means. You now have to look at the section that makes provision for the composition of NJC, and then remove almost that powerful provision that give the CJN the power to nominate virtually every person that constitutes members of the NJC. That when you do that and allow that people who are members of the civil society should also constitute the membership and should be part of the membership and all that. The constitutional reform. So we need to amend the constitution to really take into account people from outside the CJN. That's what it means. So constitutional reform is ongoing presently. I happen to be a consultant, in the amendment that is going on presently in the 10th Assembly. A lot of things have been. My only problem is most times we have problem we may not pass through at the National Assembly. If it passes through at the National Assembly, we have problem with the 2/3 of the various states of houses of assembly, because they have to also give 24 states have to approve of any constitutional amendment. And then when you succeed in getting that done, you still have to have the assent by the president. And there have been so many constitutional amendments, including local government autonomy, that came before the then president, and he refused to sign it. And then all the effort put in by the amendment committee, by the National Assembly, by the various state of assembly became a nullity. So the president's assent is also key for any amendment of our 1999 constitution. So we are also debating, can we be able to remove the assent of the president just the way it is done in America, where the president does not have to assent, give assent for constitutional amendment. But of course, if you want to do it again, the president will be the one to sign that he doesn't have, he will not be able to give assent. And of course, you know what will happen? The president will never sign that amendment. That's the problem. But whatever it is, to answer his question, amendment means a reform. Means amending the provision of the Constitution to make it more inclusive now in appointing those who constitute NJC membership. Yes.
All right. Well, we have to go. That's all the time that we have. I want to say a very big thank you. Dr. Monday Ubani is a senior advocate of Nigeria. Mr. O.C. Hayaking is a barrister. He joined us live from Port Harcourt, River State. Thank you so much, gentlemen, for being part of the conversation. We really appreciate you.
Thank you for having us.
It's a pleasure being on your studio.
Thank you very much. Thank you so much. Well, Lagos, that's the show. I want to thank you all for following and being part of the conversation. Follow me on Twitter, Instagram, Threads, MIMIEYO. Follow Nigeria Info and enjoy the rest of our shows.
You are listening to your number one station for talk.
99.3 Nigeria Info.
99.3 Nigeria Info. Let's talk. Mommy! 99.3 Nigeria Info. We are more than just radio. Subscribe to our YouTube channel at Nigeria Info FM. Check us out on Facebook at Nigeria Info 99.3. Follow us on Twitter at Nigeria Info FM and on Instagram at Nigeria Info FM Lagos for live updates as it happens. 99.3 Nigeria Info. Let's talk.